Hi, I hope you're doing great. Today's episode of The Closer Look is going to start a mini series, if you will, during which I will focus on a situation where a client is told, usually at the last moment, that the amount of funds that will be needed to finalize his transaction exceeds by far the estimates that were provided earlier. Now, when this happens, it results in either last minute heroics, huge amount of stress, and the loan still closing as scheduled, or it may result in the closing being postponed, sometimes for several days, until the client can document to the lender the acceptable source of the extra funds that are now needed. Regardless which one of these two scenarios ends up unfolding, it's a major disaster as it leaves our client unhappy. And you and I will agree that our clients, the relationships with our clients, are the source of our future success. I could not have survived 30 years in this business if I looked at the closing as the end of my relationship with a client. So I've always looked at the closing as the beginning of that relationship, and I could never afford, and I still cannot afford, for that relationship to get off to such a rocky start. Now, let's get one thing understood. If you are a loan officer, it is your responsibility to make sure that this never ever happens. However, even if you are a realtor, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your clients to have this knowledge. So in case, if the loan officer, through honest mistake or lack of training, puts your clients in this dreadful situation, you can play a role in keeping things calm and bringing it to a successful resolution. Setting the blame game aside, as it wouldn't help anybody at the moment, what do you think causes this last-minute lack of funds disaster? I mean, after all, the loan was clear to close, so what changed? The main culprit is the usage of the prorated seller's tax credit to satisfy clients' cash-to-close requirements, or to be more precise, the balancing of this credit against the tax escrow account and potentially a TI or tax indemnity account that may have to be set up if we're closing the transaction within 60 days of the tax bill due date. In other words, someone decided, usually the loan officer, to use the entire seller's tax credit to help the client satisfy the cash to close requirements. Now, miscalculating how much of that tax credit is gonna get eaten up by the escrow account and potentially the TI now causes a situation that the client does not have enough documented funds to finalize the transaction. We can call this a rookie mistake, but surprisingly, I had some of my realtor partners call me in situations where their client used a loan officer who's been in the business for a long time, but for some reason, this mistake was made. I am not sure why, as avoiding this dreadful situation is really, really easy. You as a realtor, you already know how to calculate the seller's tax credit. Now, as far as estimating how much money will go into the escrow and potentially a TI, that is so simple that I will be able to show you this in 6 to 8 minutes. However, since I want to stick true to my promise to keep my videos short, I will cover those topics in the next 2 episodes. Until then, I strongly suggest that you insist that your clients use reputable loan officers, that they use loan officers that are not interested in lowballing their estimates by telling your clients, don't worry about it, you will not need this money, it's all going to come in from the sellers, etc., etc. These type of practices result in the disaster we just described. So until my next episode, this is all from Lendonia Absolute Financial Solutions, where we deliver more than mortgages, where we deliver information, ideas, and lending integrity. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.